talking about service, I'm a servant. I have the heart of a servant. I didn't always have that heart. I think in a way I did. Let me rephrase that. I always loved helping people. I have been the type of kid, man, whatever you want to say, that if I saw an elderly person putting groceries in the back of their car or with a big cart full of heavy stuff, I would just offer to do it and say, hey, let me help you. And I've just been doing that basically almost my whole life since I've been an adult. So I do love helping people and I love servicing people. Let's talk about real estate agents and how you should, or at least I believe you should aspire to be the greatest servant and not the greatest real estate agent. So this is what I mean is we're in the people business, right? We're here to market so that people can find us so that we can help them. That is our whole thing, is how do we help more people? And I'm going to say something, and you may not agree with it, but I know it to be a fact. The agents that care, or I should say this, the agents that help the most people are the agents that sell the most real estate, which are the agents that typically make the most money. Those are the people that help the most. So if you're saying in your heart of hearts, Derek, I want to help as many people as possible. Number one, awesome, you have the right mentality. Number two, realize that in order to do that, you have to, quote unquote, sell real estate, which is basically, close the transaction. And so as I was a top producing real estate agent before I became a broker owner, that was my whole thing, is how many people can I serve? I want to serve as many people as possible. And I want to serve them in a way that makes the process enjoyable for them, enjoyable for me as much as possible, which includes structuring my business, structuring my life, setting boundaries for my clients. And I think it all just starts with having the heart of a servant. So this is what I mean. When you have someone contact you, instead of first focusing on how you're going to make money out of the transaction, just focus on helping them. And I'm gonna chime in here. Derek, 15 years ago, $65,000 in credit card debt, had just went a year without making income, sold his house, sold his new car, moved in with his girlfriend's parents, bought a used car, didn't have money to eat, literally didn't have money to eat. Might have said, Derek, BS. I gotta freaking eat. I'm just picturing the old me sitting here. I gotta eat, dude. So yeah, helping people is all fine and dandy, but I gotta eat. And so I've been there, if that's where you're at. If you're saying, I need to eat, I can't just say, well, let me just help everybody, and if I make money, I make money, great. I'm not saying that it's like that. What I'm saying is that if you just focus on helping people, and if your true intention of your heart is to help people, the money will come. And the money will actually come quicker and more consistently and in a manner that makes you feel better and sleep better at night than it would if you were focusing only on the money. Now, you still have to focus on your business, of course. You're in this business to be profitable. You're in this business to generate income so that you can eat, you can have housing, you can have clothes, you can have whatever it is you want, a yacht, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be only your bare essentials. But as I've been in this business 15 years, now that I've sold, 1,400 plus properties personally that were my clients, I can tell you that if you just focus on the client, that's where to start. Now, I'm gonna flip over to the opposite side, which is the question is, well, can you do too much for the client? And I believe that really you can. And I know people will completely disagree with me. They're going to say, no, you can't do too much for your client. I believe you can. I believe that you can be taken advantage of, that you can give and give and give to certain people, and they will literally just suck you dry like a vampire. I've experienced it myself. So that's where strategy comes into it. And you have to be strategic with your time, right? You don't just give, let's say, 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week to the same client that continues to have you show them homes that you've been showing to for 4, 5, 6 months, and they haven't bought. I mean, you have to make a business decision at some point. Yes, we want to help them. But at some point, you have to be a business person. You are an entrepreneur. Unless if you don't need money and you already have too much money, or I shouldn't say too much, you have excess money that you don't need to work or your spouse does. If that's the case, then fine. You are running a charity. Just call it that, right? This is Derek's Charity Real Estate. I will give away all my time, all my resources. I will lose time with my family, lose time with my kids, lose time with myself for hobbies so that I can just give you time and you don't have to value it or reciprocate it in any ways. And if that's what you're doing, awesome, more power to you. Not for me. Definitely not. I want to help people, but I want to help people that respect me, respect my time, and are going to transact in a time frame that is in proportion to the time and value that I'm giving. So I've had hundreds of clients that didn't transact with me for 3, 4, 5 years plus, literally. I had someone call me yesterday. I was in the wife, or wasn't in my wife with my car. I was in my car with my wife, and anyways, this lady called me. She said, "You know, I'm finally ready to sell, Derek." She's all, "It's been 5 years since you've been talking to me," and she spoke about how I've been so consistent with staying in touch with her, which we call follow-up, right? So I'm not saying that if someone doesn't buy right now or in 3 months, you dump them. What I'm saying is the amount of time that I put into my follow-up systems, because a large amount of it is automated, I'm okay with that. If it takes 10 years, I'm okay with it. Because the amount of time that I'm putting in is so minor compared to what the payoff is as far as being able to help the person at the end of the transaction and capture monetarily a return on my time and a return on my investment and my skills. So I find that most agents, at least the ones that I work with at our brokerage, they go to giving too much as opposed to looking for money. Almost all of them, all they want to do is give time, and that's where they end up getting taken advantage of. But I think it is cool, number one, that we have such a giving heart in our organization, and that's where it's got to start. So realize that. Focus on being the greatest servant and not the greatest salesman.